Hey survivors, it's Angie Atkinson, and today at QueenBeing.com we're going to answer a hard question, and that is, what exactly are you supposed to do when a narcissist says they're going to commit suicide if you don't come back to them? That's what we're talking about. Let's get started.
My name is Angie Atkinson, and this channel is all about teaching you what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want.
If you haven't been here before, my name's Angie, and this channel offers free daily video coaching for narcissistic abuse survivors to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in your life and in your toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, and you might just find that it's one step closer to taking back your life. With that out of the way, let's get started. All right, so it all starts here. The world, according to a narcissist, is kind of a stage. On one hand, they're going to make a big show out of trying to commit suicide or claiming they're going to commit suicide. And on the other hand, in most cases, they're not going to do it. A narcissist is the type of person who might attempt to kill themselves. They might miss major blood vessels when they cut their wrist, though. Or they might take just enough medicine, or pills to knock themselves out, but not quite enough to die. And this might be very calculated. All right, so be aware of that. With that being said, though, anyone can get suicidal, and anyone can get to the dark place where life feels really hopeless. So the narcissist is going to use this as a manipulative tool that he or she will use as many times as they can, as many times as it works. In fact, if you come to the place where you find yourself ignoring the narcissist threats, that's about the time when, in some cases, they will go so far as to threaten social violence. They might say, oh, I'm going to go shoot up a school or some craziness like that. And that's never been something that they would have done in the past. Of course, this brings you to your knees. Of course, this puts you in the position where you're kind of screwed and you don't really know what to do. So let's talk about the two different basic scenarios in which a narcissist might actually threaten suicide. Okay, the first one being, of course, that you're still with the narcissist, but you're considering splitting up from him or her. In this case, they may be faking their suicidal state of mind, or they really might be thinking about doing themselves in. In either case, of course, it's possible for a narcissist to commit suicide. That's a fact. However, it is not your responsibility. In the case that you're still with a narcissist, you understand that the reason they're doing that is because they see you as a source of supply. And if they actually get to the place where they think they're going to lose you, where they might lose you, they generally will pull out all the stops. Do they really intend to kill themselves? No. Most of the time, they really intend to manipulate you and get you back into their clutches, as it were. But suicide is, of course, a big way that they will get attention and often succeed in making you stay. They will guilt you, and in the other situation, you've already left your narcissist and they're using suicide to try to get you back in. In either case, it's not your problem and it's not your fault. Okay? So how do you deal with this? Do you just stick around and feel responsible for the narcissist's life and just put your own life aside and not try to be happy ever again? Well, no. In my opinion, what you do is you just let them know, I'm so sorry that you're feeling the way you're feeling right now. I understand you're devastated, but I can't help you with that. You're going to need professional help. And at that time, you should provide the narcissist with, number one, the National Suicide Hotline number, which in the United States is 800-273-8255. You have to understand that when you give in to a narcissist's threats that they're going to hurt themselves, they will, and if it works once, they'll continue to use it every time until it stops working. So be aware of that. If you are still with a narcissist, tell them that, hey, this is something only you can deal with, my friend. And so with the help of a professional, I'm going to facilitate that for you. Be sure to avoid arguing with the narcissist or accusing them of manipulating you, because it's only going to up the hostility factor and isn't going to help anything in the long run. If you really believe that that the narcissist is going to kill him or herself, the best thing you can do is give them that phone number and call the police in their local area and notify them so that they can get the help that they need. And I'm not saying that to be funny or mean. This is real. Remember that in some cases, a narcissist will take his or her own life just to hurt you. if they're feeling that desperate. So be prepared and make the phone call to the police if you need to. By your being manipulated by this statement that, you know what, I'm not going to make it, I'm going to go ahead and off myself, right? The narcissist is controlling you. They're setting you up to be responsible for their own behavior, for their own trouble. They are putting you in a position to feel so loved and needed that you will tolerate even more abuse than you did before. But don't let them fall for it. Don't let them make you fall for it. Okay? If you're still with them or you're not, your only duty is to notify the appropriate people or give him the information to do so himself or herself. If you give in to the narcissist's threats, it only gives them more opportunity to control you. What you're really doing is letting them control you. You're not actually helping them. The only thing you need to remember is that your role, the most important thing you can be doing right now during this time, is beginning your own healing process. Okay? So when a victim of narcissistic abuse or a survivor of narcissistic abuse gathers up the strength that they need to leave that relationship, and then the narcissist pulls out all the stops and hits the last resort, once they recognize that, you know, hoovering isn't going to work and crying and screaming and yelling and fighting isn't going to work, they're going to pull out that final weapon, and that is, if you leave me, I'll die. If you leave me, I'll make sure I die. Unfortunately, you can't love a narcissist well. They have to prove it to themselves and change their own lives. There's nothing you can do. What you're supposed to do if your partner threatens it on a regular basis. On a regular basis, they're manipulating you with suicide threats. The first thing to remember is that in most cases, if someone's going to commit suicide, they don't tell anyone. People who are telling everyone or telling anyone are reaching out for help. If the narcissist is looking for your help, then you help them by getting the authorities involved. Yes, express concern for their well-being, but do not make it your problem. Yes, express concern for their well-being, but don't give in to their demands. If the narcissist threatens seriously and sends you photos with a gun to their head or says, I'm going to shoot myself right now, the only thing you can do is call 911. Dial 911. Let the authorities see anything that you collect, whether it's a photo or a recording of a voicemail or anything like that, that proves the narcissist is threatening suicide. And don't be under any false impression. Okay? If you call the authorities, it's not going to make things worse. It's going to help the narcissist. Remember that in this case, doing nothing could be a problem. Make sure that you call the authorities and do what you need to do to keep yourself safe and to prevent future problems. There could be other issues here. So what you want to do, one more time, is tell the narcissist, I cannot help you with that. Only you can help you. You need to get help. Here's the phone number for you to call. Are you going to call the phone number? If you feel like the narcissist's life is in immediate danger, you call the police in the local area and report that someone is suicidal and give them the information they need to help the narcissist. That is how you deal with a narcissist who threatens suicide. You do not make it your responsibility, number one. It is a manipulation tactic 99% of the time. If they're actually going to commit suicide, you cannot control it. You cannot stop them even if you want to. If they're not going to commit suicide, you're not going to put yourself in the place to be manipulated even further. Take care of yourself first from now on. You've already given enough of your life to the narcissist, enough of your energy, enough of your happiness. It's time for you to find happiness for yourself. And do not let a manipulative narcissist threaten suicide as a way to keep you around. Don't let that be the thing. All right? Finally, if you're being threatened and manipulated with suicide threats, the best thing you can do is leave that relationship if you haven't already, because it's not healthy and that person needs help beyond what you can offer. Questions, or you want me to talk more about suicide and narcissists, let me know in the comments below. The question of the day: are you in a situation where you've dealt with a narcissist who's threatening suicide, and what's happening with it now? What happened with it then? Share your thoughts below and your experiences. Let's talk about it. All right, I'm wrapping up for now. I'll see you soon. As always, thanks for being a part of my life and a part of my day. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Have a wonderful day.
It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.